So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 22 of our season 2 here on our F1 Manager 23 career mode. Now if you didn't watch the last episode in Interlagos in Sao Paulo, go back and watch that one. It was an exciting race right to the very end. Max Verstappen winning that Grand Prix, but only by 0.3 of a second to Charles Leclerc. Checo Perez did manage to get to podium as well. Pierre Gasly scored some points for us. Esteban Ocon had a pretty valiant race, despite not scoring any points. What that means for the championships is this is done and dusted for Red Bull in the constructors. It's done and dusted for Red Bull in the driver standings as well. Driver standings wise, you can see Gasly overtook Ocon by 2 points in 2P9 in the driver standings. Leclerc, Stroll, Sainz all still fighting, and probably Fernando Alonso all still fighting for third place in the driver standings. Constructors wise, we are comfortably in 5th. Haas aren't going to catch us. We're not going to catch Mercedes. Mercedes, it must be said, have massively underperformed this season. There is talks ongoing between me and them. Will we be at Andretti? Will we be at Mercedes next season? Let me know down in the comments what you're thinking. Just to have a quick look at the F2, that is the constructor standings and the driver standings. And on the F3 as well, Taylor Barnard still leading the way. And constructors standings wise, Trident leading the way from ART Grand Prix. This weekend, we head to Las Vegas. And in real life, this provides us some excellent entertainment. And I'm sure it's going to do the same here as well. 50 laps around here, up the Las Vegas Strip. What a place Las Vegas is. I'm hoping we can put in a strong performance here. The expected strategy is a one-stop from either medium or softs onto the hard compound tyre. Will anyone be brave and try the two-stop? We shall have to see. We're looking pretty good on race car components now. We suffered a little bit in Brazil. We're not going to suffer in Las Vegas, at least on car parts. So I'm going to get through practice and I'll see you in qualifying for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This is it then. Final flying laps in Q2 and Esteban Ocon currently in P13. Green through the first and second sectors, crosses the line. Is it enough? Puts him currently into Q3, knocking out the 2 Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz. Pierre Gasly, however, coming around the final corner as well. He looks like he's improved. Is it by enough? It sends him P11, but oh no, unfortunately, both cars out in Q2. I think that was Magnussen, was it, that just got in? Both cars out in Q2, P11, P12, but there is quite a few grid penalties this weekend. So we may be starting a lot further up the order, but let's have a look at what the final results from qualifying are in Q3. And Sergio Perez actually got pole position from Max Verstappen. Both have grid penalties though, as do Nico Hülkenberg, Lando Norris, Bottas and Zhou. So we stand to gain quite a few positions here, the two Andretti Cadillac boys. So strategy might be very, very important for this weekend, but my word, that is a bad qualifying for Ferrari. Let's get to the strategy. Right then guys, both of our cars have got two sets of soft compound tyres now. We're starting Ocon on the softs. We may go to the two-stop. There's very little between them. So there is an opportunity to go for the two-stop with Esteban Ocon. There's an opportunity to do that with Pierre Gasly, but we might go medium, soft, soft, depending on how we're feeling on tyres. But both cars pushing at the very start. We've took a bit of the fuel out as well. P7 and P8 we're starting. Let's get to 5 red lights.
The city of Las Vegas is abuzz with excitement as our race draws ever closer. There's a chance for Esteban Ocon to show what he can do here.
They find themselves starting in P7 and eyeing up a handful of points.
And the time has come. Let's go racing. The atmosphere is electric here for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And it's lights out. And away we go.
And away we go. Kevin Magnussen on pole position for Haas. He's going to lead into turn 1. What a story that is. Alonso, then Perez and Verstappen in P3 and 4. Russell, Hamilton, Ocon straight away having a look at the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Gasly on mediums, the two Mercedes runners, and Esteban Ocon on the soft compounder tyre. So a mix of tyres at the start of this Grand Prix is going to be very interesting to see who gets the strategy calls right. If we can keep his nose clean here, we could be in for a very, very decent race indeed. I think Ocon's going to be on the riskier strategy. Sorry, if I can get my teeth in. Merry Christmas, by the way. I hope you've all enjoyed the festive period. I know we had an episode on Tuesday, but just in case you missed that one, Merry Christmas, and I hope you're looking forward to an excellent new year where we will be starting Season 3 of our F1 Manager 23 series. But early doors here, it's pretty much as you would expect. Apart from Magnussen leading, Perez, Alonso's up into third position, Verstappen in P4, then comes Russell, Hamilton, Ocon, Gasly, Gasly holding on to his teammate quite well at this moment in time. Then comes Leclerc and Tsunoda. Carlos Sainz all the way down in P14 as we just start to drop the tyre aggression a bit because the tyres are starting to cook. Lap 1. And on lap 5, Esteban Ocon has got Lewis Hamilton. It gets him into the left-hander down the inside and manages to make that move stick. You can see Pierre Gasly still sticking in behind in P8. But Esteban Ocon now up to P7 and will be chasing after George Russell. But Hamilton looks like he's got him straight back, losing that DRS of George Russell in front. This fighting is not really helping Esteban Ocon because we are losing the DRS of the cars in front. And while these two will ride on board with Pierre Gasly because he's got the best view in the house here in Las Vegas as we come onto the start-finish straight, it is still Ocon just about in front from Lewis Hamilton. And this is a battle that's going to be going on all the race, I would suggest. But the Andretti Cadillac is in front now of Lewis Hamilton and possibly has got the pace to catch up with George Russell in front. Those soft compound tyres are very much looking like a two-stop at this moment. With currently the degradation, I would suggest it's a two-stop for Esteban Ocon today. We'll keep his eye on that. But Pierre Gasly at the moment looking pretty comfortable on the 1. I don't know what Esteban Ocon's had for breakfast this morning in Las Vegas, but he has just set the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the Andretti Cadillac. We are going to move him on to the two-stop strategy. We've made that decision on the pit wall, as you can see here. So he's going to be coming in for 2 pit stops today. Pierre Gasly, just the 1. Pierre Gasly is ticking along lovely at the moment in P8, sticking with these soft compound runners. He's very aware he's got Charles Leclerc behind him, but at the moment doing just enough to keep tickling these tyres along. And we're currently on lap 7. Alonso is leading, but because of the DRS round here, Kevin Magnussen is in P2, and it must be said, regardless of where we are next season, Kevin Magnussen has put in some stonking performances this season and maybe a driver that we look at for the 25 season. So Kevin Magnussen, keep your eye on him because he currently is leading in Las Vegas for Haas. What a story we've got on our hands here, and I'm actually really rooting for him myself here on the pit wall. I can't see us getting up there today, but Kevin Magnussen, what a performance so far. His bike on lap 10. Checo Perez is now in the lead from Kevin Magnussen. It's only lasted so long, but he's still doing very, very well. What is interesting is you'll notice that's the leader, Checo Perez. But look here, the Andretti Cadillacs, this lead group, it doesn't really split until Carlos Sainz, who sat down in P12. So at the moment, all the top 8, top 9, top 10 even, including Yuki Tsunoda and the Audi of Valtteri Bottas, are all in line for high point scoring positions. Esteban Ocon, though, has just started to drop Lewis Hamilton, and I think Pierre Gasly is going to be having a right look at him, and Pierre Gasly is having a right look at him, and symbolic of Charles Leclerc on Checo Perez in real life, Pierre Gasly, what a move that is. Let's have a look at that once again. We need to see a replay of this because Pierre Gasly has just dived past Lewis Hamilton. Let's have a little look. He's got the DRS, so has Hamilton, but Pierre Gasly more confident on the brakes in that Andretti Cadillac, and he's passed Lewis Hamilton up into P7 and behind his teammate. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon sitting pretty, looking at this gaggle of cars in front, and Esteban Ocon can see the leader. Are we going to gamble it all in Las Vegas with Esteban Ocon? But I fancy Pierre Gasly today. He's doing very well on his tyres. Let's have a look. 69%, making his tyres last. He's now sat in the DRS of his teammate. If Pierre Gasly can just stick with this pace, he's on the 1 stop. I mean, who knows what could happen here. Lap 11. And on lap 15, Esteban Ocon is coming into the pits. We are committing to the 2-stop. We think this is the way to go. Pierre Gasly's battery's just dying off a little bit. Gasly goes up into P6. I'm pushing to try and get Gasly into the DRS of Russell, which seems to have worked a little bit. We need a good stop here, and it's not the worst stop in the world. 2.9 seconds. Gasly comfortably into the DRS of George Russell. That has worked an absolute treat at the top. What has also worked an absolute treat is Esteban Ocon should have been out in clean air, but it looks like he's come out behind the Williams. We've had a better stop time there than we thought we would have, but Esteban Ocon now on the fresher tyres can attack, and this is his time now. If we can get this undercut before catching up with this traffic, we will be laughing. Lap 16. Key moment, George Russell into the pits for Mercedes, and it looks like it's going to be a slow stop. The bike right tyre is not coming off, and we've managed to get it on now But George Russell is dropping like a stone. Where is Esteban Ocon? Esteban Ocon is flying at this moment in time, and George Russell has dropped a lot of time there. Bearing in mind, George Russell was in front of Esteban Ocon, and George Russell looks like he's onto the hard compounder tyre, so he's lost time on the pit stop, and Esteban Ocon now is being told to be aggressive on these tyres and get motoring, because my God does he need to. But Pierre Gasly also, he's doing his absolute utmost to try and get in the DRS of these cars in front, and we are now going to tell him to push once again, get back in the DRS, and Esteban Ocon, he's starting to make moves. He's past the Williams of Alexander Albon. I'm hoping we are going to get a replay of that, but if not, we are now looking at the back. We are going to get a replay of it, because Esteban Ocon passed the Williams round the outside, getting the job done. Then it turns into the left-hander. Then he was past him, and now he's got the Hugo Boss in front of him to try and get past as well. Here is Esteban Ocon as we ride on board with the Frenchman, pushing on the tyres at this moment in time. Pierre Gasly once again comfortably in the DRS of Kevin Magnussen. Lewis Hamilton is holding on ridiculously well with these soft compound tyres, but here it is. Esteban Ocon should now get past this AlphaTauri or this Hugo Boss as he goes defensive. But here goes Esteban Ocon down the outside. He's got the move done before he gets to the braking zone. And Esteban Ocon now onto the back of Lance Stroll. He's making his way through the pack well. Pierre Gasly on the back of Kevin Magnussen, staying in that DRS just about. Lap 18, Pierre Gasly managing to get past Kevin Magnussen. What a view that is, by the way, down the strip. And there goes Pierre Gasly up into P4 in this race. At the moment, he's actually conserving a little bit of fuel as well. So Pierre Gasly up into P4. Hamilton is now pitting. Esteban Ocon has got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's now stuck behind this Williams and Aston Martin and doing his utmost to get past him as we ride on board with Esteban Ocon. Will he get the move done here? And what is Lance Stroll going to do? He pulls to the inside, Esteban Ocon. And the Aston Martin is not going to pit at this moment in time. Here he goes though. Esteban Ocon down the inside. Can he be later on the brakes? He certainly can. Esteban Ocon down the inside. It's close, and there is another pit stop issue for Mercedes. Let's have a little look at this. Lewis Hamilton coming into the pits. I've got to say, if we do end up going to Mercedes, we're going to be looking at this. He's held. He's only doing the one stop, is Lewis Hamilton. But that is a poor stop from the Mercedes pit crew. Once again, both Mercedes cars have been shafted by poor pit stops. And now Esteban Ocon is starting to make some moves. He got past Lance Stroll. He's got 4 seconds now to Carlos Sainz. We're going to start conserving some fuel with him in a moment or two. But at the moment, Pierre Gasly is on absolute fire. He's now pushing to catch up with Sergio Perez in P3. If he can get back in the DRS, my word, we're laughing. Lap 19, this race, it's a thriller in Las Vegas. Lap 20, Verstappen pitting from the lead of the Grand Prix. We're going to see if Esteban Ocon has undercut him here. I think he may have done. You know, where is Esteban Ocon? Is he going to get out in front of Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen comes out just behind Carlos Sainz. And there is Esteban Ocon right behind the Red Bull driver. 1.4 seconds and right on the back of him. And can he get Max Verstappen before he gets those tyres up to temperature? At this moment, I'm not too fussed if he doesn't, because if he could just tag on in the DRS, and that would help his race no end. But Max Verstappen pitting from the lead of the Grand Prix. Ocon, of course, has to pit again. Pierre Gasly. Is Pierre Gasly on for a podium? That is the question that is being asked around the hotels and the stands in Las Vegas now, because Pierre Gasly in the Andretti Cadillac is currently running P3 and doing rather well. And on lap 21, Esteban Ocon thought, you know what, I'm sick of being stuck behind this Red Bull. I'm getting past him. And Ocon is past Max Verstappen. Great work from Esteban. He's now basically leading the Grand Prix, apart from he's got one more pit stop. But let's not dwell on that. Charles Leclerc's just pit for Ferrari. Pierre Gasly's going to be pitting on the next lap onto the hard compounder tyre. It's a smooth pit stop from the Ferrari guys, but Pierre Gasly will be in next lap. And at the moment, he has around a 7/10 gap to Kevin Magnussen. So he's doing very, very well indeed, is Pierre Gasly. Giving it absolutely everything on his in-lap. But yeah, can't complain at the moment. Lap 21, Alonso and Perez still lead. Neither of them have pit yet. And into the pits comes Pierre Gasly. Magnussen has followed him in. We're just going to tell Esteban Ocon just to calm down a little bit on the overtaking because he really doesn't need to be pushing in such a way. But Pierre Gasly, right, we need a good pit stop. We've seen some bad ones in Las Vegas today. Is it going to be a bad one for Andretti? It isn't. It's a 3-second stop. And he filters out lovely just behind Checo Perez, I believe that is. So that's going to work beautifully for Pierre Gasly. He's going to come out with the Red Bull. Magnussen's still behind him, and that is Pierre Gasly in a lovely position now to really push on. We're going to tell him to attack, but Esteban Ocon, wow, he's in a fight here. He's got Verstappen, he's got Carlos Sainz. He's trying to find a gap. He's Esteban Ocon. Can't quite do it and gets absolutely squeezed out, and that could cost him very dearly for Esteban Ocon. He's now in P5, but he's got a Ferrari between himself and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, which is not ideal at all. The only saving grace is he will get DRS down the next DRS straight, and hopefully this Ferrari gets out of the bloody way. But Pierre Gasly now has dropped to pull the second to Magnussen, and he's also now on the back of Checo Perez. This is looking very promising indeed. Alonso yet to pit. And Pierre Gasly has overtaken Checo Perez. He got the DRS. Look at Magnussen in the background. That's who we're looking at, pulling the gap to him. But Pierre Gasly up into, that could be net P2, net P1. We'll have to see what happens. I'm pretty sure that's top 2 for Esteban Ocon at this moment in time. P2 for Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon is currently running P3. He's obviously got another pit stop to make, but he's going to be lightning quick at the end, is Pierre Gasly, and Esteban Ocon. And he's also saving tyres at this moment in time. Gasly now can just calm down on the tyres a bit, and he's fighting with Checo Perez all the way. If he just tags onto the back of this DRS, it's the same plan for both Andretti's. Tag onto the back of the DRS, and we should be absolutely laughing. But Esteban Ocon's just lost a lot of time through that sector, and now it looks like he's struggling a bit on fuel as well. So halfway through the Grand Prix, we've definitely got some fuel saving to do. Fernando Alonso has got some pace today. Lap 27, he's caught Pierre Gasly and managed to get past him. But Pierre Gasly at the moment is running in 3rd position, just dropping down to 4th, as you can see here. Esteban's obviously got to pit again, but Fernando getting in front of him, I'm not that upset about, because what we can do now, tag onto the back of the DRS, conserve our fuel, get ourselves in a position to push towards the end of the Grand Prix. And if we can do that, we are going to be in a very, very strong position towards the end. Esteban Ocon still bubbling away lovely on those medium compounded tyres. Just looking at lap times, it's a 38.6 for Gasly, a 37.9 for Alonso, but that was with DRS. So he's doing okay at this moment in time. Is Fernando Alonso. Pierre Gasly struggling to keep up with Fernando Alonso a little bit here, which is a little bit concerning. But this DRS is going to help him all the way. Lap 27, we are on for a podium today, ladies and gentlemen. Start getting excited, and who... let me know down in the comments, who is your money on? Verstappen looks like he's got it won, but Pierre Gasly going for the move on Fernando Alonso down the inside. Is he going to make it stick? He's wheel to wheel. It's great driving. He's tried that move once on Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso not having as much of it, and we're just going to tell him to conserve a bit on the fuel again, because I'd like to be in front. I'd like to be behind Fernando Alonso, sorry. I want the DRS to conserve this fuel, and if we can do that, my word, we could be very, very strong at the end. But Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly are still going at it at this moment in time. Both cars conserving fuel of ours, but there we go. Fernando Alonso does manage to just about get in front, but does crucially get the DRS. So now Pierre Gasly has got to sit in behind, just push a little bit more on the tyres, and try and stick with Fernando Alonso. My word, this is tactical. Lap 32, and Pierre Gasly has caught Esteban Ocon, and this is possibly the perfect scenario here, because Pierre Gasly could get past his teammate, and then if Esteban Ocon decides to hold up the rest of the pack for a couple of laps until he goes on to his pit stop, I mean, this could aid us no end here. But we can see Gasly and Ocon, the two Andretti Cadillacs, running P2 and P3 at this moment. It does beg the question, should we have put Esteban Ocon on the one stop as well? But Pierre Gasly now will get the DRS. Let's have a look what happens here. We are on board with Pierre Gasly. He's got that rear wing wide open, and Esteban Ocon, he's not going to fight it. But as soon as that happens, we are back onto neutral, defending for Esteban Ocon. And Esteban Ocon, if he can keep them Aston Martin at bay of Fernando Alonso, that would have been ideal. But Esteban can't, and it looks like he's actually going to get passed by both the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. So he didn't quite help his teammate as much as he could have done. But Esteban Ocon now down to P5, and we will be coming in the next couple of laps. Esteban, not the best from him, but Pierre Gasly still doing the business. 3 seconds behind Verstappen. We could do with a Verstappen mistake here, and then it could get very interesting indeed. Lap 33. Checo Perez is now leading this little train. Let's have a little look. We saw Fernando Alonso trying to make the move down the inside, and then Checo Perez spotted an opening round the outside. Both cars have got DRS. And there we have it. We see Perez going around the outside, getting the move done. This isn't actually harming Esteban Ocon's race because he's getting dragged along by these guys. And like I said, he's going to be absolutely flying at the end. Pierre Gasly now on the back of Perez. Just keeping in touch with him, keeping in that DRS, because that's what we need to do. If we keep in the DRS, there could be a podium for the Andretti today. We'll do a full route rundown. Verstappen is from Perez, from Gasly, Alonso. Ocon's in P5. Magnussen is in P6, fighting with Ocon at the moment. Then comes Leclerc. George Russell has recovered from that bad pit stop to be in P8. Tsunoda P9, and Bottas is in P10. Lewis Hamilton in P11. But this could be a big point scoring weekend for the Andretti Cadillac boys. And at the moment, it's just starting to space out a little bit. Gasly from Perez gap is now 0.6 of a second. And he looks like he's pulling away a little bit here, does Checo Perez. Hopefully, we should get a little bit of DRS. We've lost the DRS. That is absolutely crucial. We need to be back in the DRS of that Red Bull. We're pushing once again now. But have we lost the DRS? Lap 34. Esteban Ocon coming into the pits with 15 laps to go. Checo Perez just absolutely bolted. I don't know if he saved up his battery, but he's absolutely bolted off into the sunset, has Checo Perez. But in comes Esteban Ocon. Are we going to get a decent stop here? We are. It's a 3-second stop once again. Gasly is just about holding off Fernando Alonso. I think we've got the pace on the Haas behind. That's not a concern for me. Where is Esteban Ocon coming out is crucial. We see Hülkenberg there. He's still on for points today, Esteban Ocon. That pit exit looks very, very weird on this game. We will now be aggressive on the tyres. Ocon's going to start pushing on, but Pierre Gasly at the moment leading this train. And really, if he carries on like this, it's going to matter who's got the DRS on the last lap. That's what it's all going to come down to. But Perez nearly caught Verstappen. But we've got to get that fuel back in check as well. Ocon's nearly done it. Gasly nearly has as well. We do have a safety car. Oh, if Esteban Ocon had stayed out 1 lap longer, where would we have been? But we've got a decision to make. That is a very, very big accident, that. Do we stay on the hard compounder tyre or do we go on to the softs? Well, we are coming in for the soft compound tyre with Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon might gain a few positions here, but I reckon we are only we're going to drop to possibly 8th and 9th, but being on the fresher, softer compound tyre, and we have got a fresh set as well, is absolutely crucial, because if we do that, it's a full course safety car. The Red Bulls are doing it. Let's make sure we are in as well. Fernando Alonso stays out. Magnussen and Leclerc are in. So the Red Bulls are going to have to double stack here. As we can see, Verstappen gets away well. Does Checo Perez? No. Where is Pierre Gasly? Pierre Gasly's trundling down the pit lane at the moment. He needs to get in and out. Please make this be a good stop. Oh, you guys. It's not the worst, it's not the worst, it's not the best. We're now held, and we are back out behind the Ferrari. Oh, my word. When push came to shove, we didn't quite do it, did we? And that could cost us so... I mean, who's in front of us now? Alonso's on hards. Tsunoda is on hards. Perez is on mediums. So at this moment in time, we're just charging the battery up a little bit, making sure we've got everything in the tank, just making sure the tyres are what they need to be. And then when we get back to the restart, Tsunoda, Perez, I fancy us to get Perez. Leclerc, we seem to have had the pace on this weekend. I would think that a podium is still very much on here. Tsunoda's going to be the sort of bottleneck. If we can get past him quickly, we could be on for a podium still. We'll come back when we're back to green flag running. This is it then. It's now an 11-lap sprint. Gasly, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Perez, Verstappen and Alonso. Alonso's on the hard. He's going to bulk them all up. And Alonso gets a decent restart. The two Red Bulls are fighting. But where? Oh, where is Pierre Gasly? He's been told to be aggressive on the overtakes. We are pushing on absolutely everything. It's important to get past this Ferrari. If we can get past this Ferrari, then scaddle past. Scaddle? Then scaddle past Yuki Tsunoda in the Hugo Boss. We would be absolutely laughing. Yuki Tsunoda is causing all sorts of problems here for these cars. We're riding on board with Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon, he's past George Russell by the looks of it. And look at the state of this. Can he follow him through? Pierre Gasly. And that was crucial for Charles Leclerc to get that move done on Yuki Tsunoda early. But Tsunoda's not giving this up just yet. Pierre Gasly still ducking left and right, trying to make a move. And Gasly can't get past Tsunoda when Charles Leclerc did. And that could be hugely problematic for Gasly's chances of a podium today. We are pushing on absolutely everything to try and get now past this Hugo Boss of Yuki Tsunoda. Let's have a look as we start our drive up the Las Vegas Strip. Can Pierre Gasly get past him down towards this corner? It doesn't appear like he can. Esteban Ocon, meanwhile, is stalking Lando Norris, but Pierre Gasly now doing his absolute utmost. Tsunoda's making such hard work of it for us, and we can't get past the Japanese driver. Oh, how frustrating is this? Will he go for the move? He has. Esteban Ocon round the outside of Yuki Tsunoda. He's passed him, and now he's back, I believe, just about in the DRS of Charles Leclerc. Fantastic from Pierre Gasly. Past Yuki Tsunoda. He had to make that move for any chance of a podium today, and now he's got the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc in his sights. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon still just behind Lando Norris. He could possibly get 7th, 6th maybe today, Esteban Ocon. But Pierre Gasly now just got to watch himself on the tyres a bit. But he will close down that Ferrari, and then the podium is on. Fernando Alonso, strategy-wise, has got this totally wrong today, because Fernando Alonso on that hard compound tyre, he stayed out. We didn't. Leclerc was past him, and now so are we. Up into P4. Charles Leclerc is the man that we have got to overtake to get our first podium here at Andretti Cadillac. And would you bet against this man? Because I tell you something, I wouldn't at this moment. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon's having a good laugh, and all down in P9. Yuki Tsunoda dropping like a stone at the moment. But Esteban, there is a yellow flag on circuit. I mean, it'd be a shit. There's a virtual safety car. Very interesting indeed. We're just going to full course safety car. We'll conserve again on the tyres, top up our battery. But that, it's Oscar Piastri. Let's have a little look at this. P16 is Oscar Piastri. Looks like he's on the soft compounded tyre, and does exactly what Lance Stroll did. So he's now, I'm guessing, out of the race. Is Oscar Piastri? Let's have a little look when our race engineer gets out of the way, which I'm hoping he's going to do as we just start harvesting and conserving at the tyres. But Pierre Gasly, my word, what a restart this is going to be for him. He's got to overtake a Ferrari to get a podium. Wow. Lap 46, and we're going to be back to green flag running. Just to bring your attention, on the left-hand side, Pierre Gasly's got the better tyres out of the top four. Pierre Gasly is possibly on for a win here in Las Vegas. He's certainly on for a podium. Esteban Ocon has got to get past Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris very, very quickly. But it's all eyes on the Gasman, the driver who I had for most of my F1 Manager 22 series. I've had him for, well, every bit of this F1 Manager 23 series. He's on for a podium in Las Vegas. We have got 4 racing laps, I believe, to make this work. Pierre Gasly, go on, son. We said Esteban Ocon had to get past Yuki Tsunoda, and Esteban Ocon has got past Yuki Tsunoda onto the left-hander. He's past the Hugo Boss car. He's up into P8. Don't expect that to be the last position that Esteban Ocon gets. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly now is absolutely cream crackering it against Charles Leclerc. We're just going to have to tone it down on the tyres for both cars, because we're pushing on the ERS. We're pushing on the DRS as well. And then on the fuel, sorry. But yeah, Esteban Ocon now has got Magnussen in his sights. Magnussen's on soft compound tyres. I fancy him to get Magnussen. I fancy Gasly to get one, if not two of these cars. But we see Esteban Ocon has also got Lando Norris. Let's have a look at this. Here he goes, I'm guessing down the inside. Oh my, lovely. What an overtake that is from Esteban Ocon. Driving for his future here at Andretti Cadillac. He's driving it rather well, but Pierre Gasly now has just got to get these tyres into temperature. And then we are going to launch a full-scale attack on the Scuderia Ferrari in front. This is going to be one hell of an end to a race here in Las Vegas. Pierre Gasly, who's your money on? Red or black? This is it then. Last lap of the Grand Prix in Las Vegas. We are going to get a podium with Pierre Gasly. Or are we going to get more than a podium? He goes around the outside. Is he going to get up into P2? Pierre Gasly, he's giving it absolutely everything. He's got the ERS. He's up into P2. Pierre Gasly, he's on the verge of winning the Las Vegas Grand Prix as we look where we are on circuit. Pierre Gasly in the Andretti Cadillac is going to get a chance. He's going to get a chance to attack Max Verstappen for the win here in Las Vegas. Esteban Ocon, as we just switched to him, he's sat behind Fernando Alonso, but it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly, who's going to be now standing on the tyres, pushing on the ERS, and will he manage to get past Max Verstappen? Here goes Pierre Gasly. We ride on board down the Las Vegas Strip. Pierre Gasly, he's leading in Las Vegas. Andretti Cadillac are leading in Las Vegas. Could this be the maiden win for the team? Could this be the maiden win for us here on this game this season? And now he has got to defend like a lion down this last DRS straight. I believe it is the last DRS straight. Pierre Gasly, he's defending for his life. Is he going to get the win? Pierre Gasly comes round the final corner and wins for Andretti Cadillac. Pierre Gasly wins in Las Vegas. What a moment for the team. That is simply sensational. Simply sensational. I've lost my voice. I'm shouting. I cannot believe what we have just witnessed. Pierre Gasly wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We beat two Red Bulls. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, did you put your money on red or black? I wasn't asking whether it was Red Bulls, but my word, Pierre Gasly has won our first race on F1 Manager 23, and I tell you something, just enjoy this.
Last drive from Pierre Gasly today.
What a brilliant race that was for the team. They just did everything right, the driver included, of course.
Well, they've been waiting for this, haven't they? And it's only right that they make the most of it. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here.
That gives them their first win of the season, and it was really well deserved.
And there's not much that rivals the Las Vegas Grand Prix when it comes to the podium presentation.
I mean, we're sat down watching Pierre Gasly here. What a moment that is. Just take a look at this. We beat Max Verstappen, we beat Checo Perez, we beat Christian Horner, and look at the celebrations here. Oh my word, I'm actually a bit emotional after that because that has been some time coming and we've got the job done. Just see these celebrations, drink it in Las Vegas. And Pierre Gasly, from 8th on the grid, wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Verstappen second, Perez third, Leclerc fourth, Alonso fifth. Esteban did well in P7. If he'd have pitted a lap later on that safety car, where would he have been? Lando Norris in P8, probably up there for driver of the... In fact, no, he didn't. Pierre Gasly's driver of the day. Yuki Tsunoda gets P10. The Mercedes just get 1 point. Oh, driver standings-wise, Pierre Gasly up onto 91 points with that win. Esteban Ocon gets 6. We overtake Lewis Hamilton. We overtake one of the Mercedes guys. And constructors standings-wise, we gain 31 points. Mercedes are, what's that, 65 in front, so we still can't catch them. But my word, we've won a Grand Prix this season. Mercedes haven't. Red Bull are still your champions. Ferrari and Aston Martin, it's going to go down to the final Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. And driver standings wise, the position for P3, there's what, about 30 points in it. It's basically between Stroll and Leclerc now. But ladies and gentlemen, you can probably hear in my voice, I'm a little bit flustered. I'm a little bit over the moon with that. That is possibly the best Christmas present we could have had on this game. Please do like and subscribe. We've got one race left to go. And we couldn't do it again, could we? I'll see you later. Ta-ra.